Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. Yeah, we're here. We're live. Making sure I got everything put in its proper place there. All right. Like, share, subscribe. I really thought, we'll wait. We'll wait to discuss the early signing period. We'll wait. We'll give it a couple days. Let the dust settle a little bit. But then I thought, you know what? Why not? Let's just sit, chill, look at the class, kind of go over it a little bit. I don't know. Let's have a little fun with it. 4-star wide receiver Jacaden Ferguson is a nice pickup. Says Pooh Bear DePlug. Yep. That was that was a very good. That's a nice surprise. We're going to talk about the wide receiver room and all that stuff. So like, share, subscribe. Check out all the links provided for you down below. Shout out to Direct Service Overhead, the garage door company. Same day service. Quality parts, affordable outcomes, better than best results. Give them a call today at 501-244-3667. They operate out of mostly central and northwest Arkansas. Free estimates too. Check them out. Support local businesses. Don't go to one of these national people. Always try to shop local if you can help it. I get it. Sometimes you can't. But I can tell you Direct Service Overhead does great work. They do great work. So, of course, if you need work done, reach out. All right. Danny West tweeted a little while ago, and if you don't follow him on Twitter, you should. I like Danny a lot. Good dude. Danny West reported that 247 right now, let me just find the tweet. He says, think we'll see another new addition for the Hogs before this signing day is done, but right now sitting at 32nd nationally, 15th in the SEC. Texas just ahead of Georgia and Ohio State at the top currently. Now, it's not unheard of for anyone who's kind of new to recruiting. Listen, I get people all the time who'll join Discord and they'll DM me and they're like, man, I'm new to recruiting. You know, what do I need to know? What's the benefits of, getting that involved, especially with the transfer portal and, just kind of probing me for my thoughts on the matter. So for anyone that's kind of new to Razorback football recruiting, it's not unheard of that they're going to finish bottom 6, bottom 5 in the SEC. Which is funny because nationally that's good enough typically for still a top 30, maybe even usually a top 30 class. Now you've got a couple of new schools in the conference. So naturally now you're going to get bumped back a little bit in the national perspective. A lot of schools that win a lot of games that don't finish, I shouldn't say a lot, but look at Gundy at Oklahoma State up until this year. Oh God. Ugh. The fact Arkansas lost to those guys still burns me up. But, on average, I bet they finish, 45th in the country. And yet they're winning like 9 games a year in the Big 12. I wonder why that is. It's just so unbelievably competitive in the recruiting ranks, and this is why the SEC is still the cream of the crop. Even though I believe it's kind of taken some steps back maybe, just a little bit. It could be listen, I don't know as long as Sam is here you're going to ever finish in the top 15. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. The portal has now taken over without a doubt. The portal's where it's at. 15th out of 16th over Vanderbilt is not a good class at all. No, it's not. But we do have a poll up. I want to know your thoughts. Maybe some of you've done a little bit more of a deep dive on the class. Maybe there's some players in there that no one's thinking about. This Arkansas, I should have wrote this 2025 Arkansas class. I was in a rush. I always am with these polls because it's like the last thing I do right before I go live. 29% of you say poor. 38% of you say several sleepers, but meh. 27% of you say better than people think. And then 5% of you say great. I don't know. Yeah. Biggest gets were Acuff, Malik, and Sealy. Okay, that's a different – yeah. Ty, can you speak to the Bob Holt situation? I don't know if I want to give out specifics. I just know that he needs a lot of prayer, needs a lot of thoughts and prayers. So keep Bob Holt. Listen, I don't know the guy super well, but have definitely talked with him multiple times at practice over the last 2-3 years, however long. When did I go? 2022 was my first fall camp. So yeah, that's, talk to him a little bit in the media room, real brief, hey, how you doing? Maybe a little NFL talk once. Don't know him super well, but I can tell you what I do know of Bob. Really nice guy, really good dude. Never heard him say a bad thing about anyone. He's he'll be honest, but he's a good guy, man. And just keep him in your thoughts and prayers. That's all I feel comfortable saying. I don't know who's put what out there. I know Coach Cal mentioned it in his post game after Miami. So, yeah. Super nice guy, man. Really is. If I ever had a question at practice, if someone did something on the field, if normally he was kind of he was observing practice, kind of up against the wall with his pen and his pad. I don't like to disturb people at practice. I just don't. I might talk with a couple of other media people, but while at practice, rarely do I hey, what happened? A couple times. One of the writers at 247. Really good guy. Jackson, really like him. He's a good egg. If I had any questions about fastball, he's writing it down as it's happening. But anyways, if I had any questions for Bob, he'd fill me in. He's a good dude. Anyways, Boogie Flan for 3 says big win last night. Well, it was a big win in that you didn't need to lose that game. I mean, you don't need to lose any game, but especially that game. I stand by what I said. Right now, Miami is shit. That's not a good basketball team right now. And I don't really know what their ceiling is this year. The ACC could be pretty tough. I don't know. But I'll say this. They had a gimpy player running up and down the floor on Arkansas. But I will. I mean, it's a big win in that you didn't lose to a bad team on the road. But at the same time, yeah, man, you overcame some adversity, right? You were trailing all that game. You fought your way back from a double-digit spread, or a double-digit lead, rather. Came back and found a way to win. I mean, that shows a lot of guts, a lot of moxie, and I that was great. That was good to see. I felt like the role should have been reversed. It should have been Arkansas up 10, 12 points most of that game and then finishing it off. But sometimes you are just going to play pretty bad. However, their three-point shooting in the second half was superb. They were knocking down shots, and it was great to see. So there were definitely some really good things to see there. Let's go over this class really quick. And again, please like, share, subscribe. We have our predictions up. Alabama at North Carolina. That's our newest prediction in Tusk Talk Discord. So if you haven't already, feel free to go over there and North Carolina at -1.5. Okay. Arkansas does get, so there was a lot of drama about Tavion Wallace. A lot of drama. I say drama. There was a belief for a while that maybe he was going to flip to Florida State. He didn't. Well, just watch.
Hey, we locked in Arkansas.
Yeah, I'm muted. There it went. It didn't pull. There we go. Let me Yeah, I got it. We're good. I got it. Thank you. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Ty, you're muted. I know. Damn this delay. What I said was, I don't know why Florida's catching strays. Why are the Florida Gators catching strays? Why not Florida State? Like, that's where all the drama was. But anyways, there was Tavion Wallace. He was asked by the local media there about his decision. Let's play that.
Since I committed, they remain consistent. And the family feeling, I felt that ever since May, July, all through. And then, like, I just love it. Just the people that's there, and then the football, it translates. Like, you see what they do in the weight room on the field. Like, it just translates all over, and I love it.
How important was talks with your family members? Your older brothers played SEC football. What did he kind of remind you as you came down to your final decision?
Well, you know, he seen me taking visits and everything, but he was like, I know Arkansas, what they going to do for you, because, you know, he was committed to T-Will. So, like, we know how T-Will get down. So, like, we just stayed true to the game and go Razorbacks.
So there you have it. There you have it. Arkansas stuck with him. T-Will, man. T-Will, wherever he goes, if he doesn't end up a Razorback, I have a feeling, like as a head coach, let's say he ends up at UCF down the road, or maybe he does get a really good gig. I don't know. UCF's a all right gig. You don't have the same kind of pressure on you that you would like a Florida or Miami or Florida State. UCF seems like a good fit for him if he were to ever end up there. I think he's going to kill recruiting. I'll tell you that right now, especially in that part of the world. South Alabama, South Georgia, Florida. Like, I think he's going to crush it wherever he ends up. I wish we would see more of that at Arkansas. Right now, it's just difficult. You know, I mean, let's be real. Let's be honest with ourselves about something, which is this is not a destination coach or a destination job for coaches. It's not a destination job for higher profile players at the moment. Can that change? I think it could always change. I mean, ask Colorado. Ask Colorado, right? I mean, your hands are kind of tied behind your back right now. And if you're out on the recruiting trail and you're trying to flip these guys, or you're trying to, you know, whatever, and let's say you're like right now, the 2026 cycle is actually off to a really good start for Arkansas. There's no doubt. And when Sam Pittman talks about how he talks about the challenges of the NIL and everything else, the narrative, which a lot of people will tell you somehow is the fault of the media, or it's the fault of, you know, the influencers on Twitter as to why Arkansas is such a difficult job to recruit, you know, because players see these negative, you know, the negative narratives of Arkansas football. We all know at the end of the day, it is absolutely on the football program to change the hearts and minds. And you do that by winning. You do that by having a strong, confident staff. And I think they've got some guys that are pretty confident. I think they got some guys that are strong that can do really well on the recruiting trail. But it's at the end of the day, it's up to the football program to change the narrative, and that's by winning games, putting a winning product on the field. And Arkansas they haven't had that since 2021. So of course they're going to finish bottom 4 in the SEC. Let's get into this kid out of the this is Ferguson right here. This is this kid, Jacaden Ferguson, you guys were talking about. This is a good one. That's a big get. He's a 4-star on Rivals, 3-star everywhere else. He's a big-bodied receiver, 6'2", 175. I don't know a ton about him, but there you have it. There you have it. Jacaden Ferguson. That's a pretty big get out of for the wide receiver room. By the way, Grayson Wilson, he signed. We know he's signed. Look at this picture. All right, and I want you to keep this in mind. I'm about 6'3", maybe a tall 6'2". I don't know. I'm getting older, and, they say men shrink as they get older, and I think there might be some truth into that. Depending on what gas station I walk out of, I'm typically about 6'3", 6'2", okay? Sam Pittman, who I have stood right next to at practice multiple times, is about the same height as I am. I might have half an inch on Sam. Grayson Wilson, who signed with Arkansas, he's a 3 or 4-star quarterback, depending on where you look. Look at this photo. And this is from Richard Davenport, by the way. Shout out to Richard Davenport. Really good guy. I like Richard, too. Talking about the media members I really like and respect. He's among them. Look at this photo he posted. You're going to tell me Grayson Wilson is 6'3"? Are you serious? Bro, he's 6'3" up to his nose. That's 6'3"? Fake news, Ty's 5'8". There you have it. I'm actually 5'8". Bro, some of you have met me in person, and I'm not short. Sam, I'm a little bit taller than Sam, probably not by a whole lot. Well, hell, we might even be the exact same height. I don't know. He's got a new hip, so maybe he stands up a little. I don't know. Maybe he's taller, right? There's no way, dude. That's got to be. Oh, that's true, too. That's post. No. This picture's taken before his hip. It's taken before his hip. Oh, by the way, we're supposed to hear from him. What time is that? Uh-oh. Am I going to miss it? I might miss it. Let me look that up. I hadn't planned on going live for very long. We're planning to have Coach Pittman on tomorrow. It will be afternoon, so it'll be afternoon. Anyways, maybe I'll make it. Maybe I'll be in on that Zoom call. Let's look at some more. Let's take a look at this receiving room. Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting, right? So you add Jacaden Ferguson, who's a 3/4-star. Quentin Murphy, who, by the way, played quarterback in high school, but he's also Arkansas offered him to play wide receiver. You're going to have Antonio Jordan out of Warren. Kamari Williams, these guys have all signed. Yeah, they're all 3-stars outside of Ferguson. Quentin Murphy's an athlete. Antonio Jordan is a monster. Bigger than Greg Childs out of high school. I mean, this dude is huge, like 6'5". I don't know. I think 247 says he's 6'6", 230 pounds. He has signed. That's a big receiver. That's right now 4 new receivers to the room. Now, we don't know what's going on with Kafri Brown. I have a sneaking suspicion he ends up in the portal. There's still questions about maybe. I don't know. I shouldn't say there's questions. I wonder about someone like Jordan Anthony. We know that Jaden Wilson and Davion Dozier are in the portal. I expect probably another receiver to hit the portal. That may be Kafri Brown. He may stick it out. I don't know. C.J. Brown, he should stick around. C.J. Brown should absolutely stick it out. No hate, Ty. No hate, Ty for left tackle. I'm not that big. You got to be like 6'7", 6'8" with a really long reach. J.K. Fergie says Camo Gang. Fits the traditional Bobby mold. The other big news, of course, was they got Otis to commit. Defensive lineman. He committed. I'm trying to pull up my list of commits here. ESPN does a really good if you scroll down, here we go. Refresh it here. They've got it just it's a little out of order. Tavion Wallace signed. Kevin Otis signed. Those are your two big ones. Now, according to ESPN, you've got like 4 stars. Reginald Vaughn, who signed. He's 6'3", 265 pounds. Defensive tackle. I think he's more of like a hybrid. No doubt he's going to end up putting on some weight. Batten, the athlete out of Atlanta, Texas. 4-star, 5'11", 180 pounds, according to ESPN. Connor Howes has signed, 3-star tackle out of St. Cloud, Florida. 6'6", 300 pounds, 6'6", 295, depending on where you read. Jaden Shelton, the linebacker, 3-star, 6', 205. Quentin Murphy out of Little Rock. We already talked about him, out of Robinson High. Caleb Bell out of Milton, Georgia, has signed. Keandre Johnson out of Terrell, Texas, has signed. 6'3", 225-pound defensive end. Yeah, some of these guys are going to have to put on quite a bit of weight. Blake Cherry out of Owasso High School out of Oklahoma. 6'5", 290. Antonio Jordan. And we already kind of talked about the receivers. The receiver room is going to be interesting, no doubt about it. From what I understand, they're going to hit the transfer portal hard with wide receivers, which is crazy because they have so many on campus as it is. So many guys signed on the roster with scholarships, right? Cameron Settles out of Little Rock, he signed. We already talked about Jacaden. I love that name, dude. Jacaden Ferguson. That just sounds like a badass wide receiver. 6'1". Some places have him at like 6'2", I'm pretty sure. Bubba Craig, JUCO offensive lineman with a name like Bubba. Arkansas's back. Someone pointed that out in Discord. Very funny. 6'6", 305. He's considered a guard. Trent Sellers, he signed. 6'5", 235-pound defensive end. Lionel Prudhomme. 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 Out of Shreveport, Louisiana. 6'3", 290. Got a lot of shorter in stature linemen. A lot of guys that will probably fit that left, right guard, maybe center kind of mold. Cash Courtney, who is listed as the number, according to ESPN, number 100 offensive tackle, 6'4", 260. Overton, from what I understand, Arkansas might have gotten a diamond in the rough. Now, when you talk about sleepers, someone kind of mocked that in chat. Listen, man, you've always got a sleeper. Let's not act like there's not someone in here that's a sleeper that could end up having an impact one way or another. Scott Starzik, the big leg kicker. They signed a couple of kickers. Gavin Rush, who's about 6'3", 180 pounds. Gavin Garrettson signed. He's a 6'6", 240-pound tight end out of Chico, California. Nigel Pringle, another athlete, 6 foot, 170 pounds. He signed. So right now, this is, it's not great in terms of like rank. I do think there are sleepers in this class. Depending on, I don't know if we can call Reginald Vaughn a sleeper because he is a 4-star on ESPN, but I really like Reginald Vaughn. He's an ESPN 300 prospect. I guess we can't call him a sleeper, really. The guy to me that is a sleeper in this class, Antonio Jordan. Antonio Jordan could be something fun to watch. I don't know what they actually do with him in the offense. ESPN says he's a tight end. He's a big-bodied dude, man. 6'5", 6'6", 230 pounds, moves really well. I've watched some YouTube content out there that you could find on him. I watched one video from his sophomore year, and he looked like you would have thought he was a D1 prospect then. Just a big-bodied kid. I don't know about speed. Can't tell. It's always tough. I hesitate to judge someone's speed. Like if you want to guess 40 times, anytime you see a guy pulling away on video, you're like, oh, he runs a 4.340. You got to remember the guy that's probably defending that safety or corner or linebacker that's covering him might be like a guy that runs like a 4.740. So it's very difficult. Like that's why it's so important that these kids go to these events and they get timed multiple times. If he's a tight end, he's going to be a very athletic tight end. But ESPN says he's a tight end, but I might have missed the bill on him. But I'm pretty sure they have offered him straight up as a wide receiver. You know how that goes. They could bring him on campus and they'll move him around a little bit. Quentin Murphy, who played quarterback, they offered him to play. He's going to be a wide receiver. So there's a couple of guys in here that I think could be sleepers. Overton might be one. Overton might be a sleeper. 6'1", 6'2", 190 pounds. We'll have to wait and see. But Arkansas does right now at the moment. Right now they have 4 ESPN 300 prospects signed at the moment. Take the poll. This Arkansas 2025 class. Poor, several sleepers, but meh. Better than people think. Great. Great has actually increased. It's up to 7%. Several sleepers, but meh is 40%. That's what I would go with. I agree with that. Oh, okay. I'm getting corrected on how to pronounce somebody's name. Who's man? Prudom. My bad. Prudom. Ty, what do you think about the JUCO tackle? Wait. Hold on. There was someone else. You talking? Wait, we mentioned Bubba Craig. Is that who you're talking about? That's the only JUCO lineman, isn't it? Am I missing someone? Out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Hutchinson Community College, very well-known community college, 6'6", 305. Don't know a ton about him. Don't know. He's got the size. He could probably play outside. He could probably play tackle. They have him listed as a JUCO guard. What else do they say about him? Has offers from Liberty, Massachusetts, Texas State, UTSA, and Western Kentucky. Again, with JUCO these days, it's even harder to predict what these guys can do. You know, it just really is. I don't know. Antonio Jordan has potential to be Treylon Burks 2.0, says Azazian on absurdity. Well, I don't know about that. I don't know, because he's already like a way bigger. Like, if you mean impact-wise, I'm not going to go that far either, because Treylon Burks, just raw talent, I mean, he's up there. Just not looking at his stats, I mean, he's probably one of the best skill position players you've had on campus in the last, 10, 15 years. So I don't like comparing to guys like that. I mean, how often does Arkansas produce first round anything anymore, right? Like, you get one maybe every other year. But I do, from talking to the people who have had eyeballs on him and have watched him play, they like him a lot. Says he moves well, quick. He is big-bodied, very difficult to cover, obviously, with a size like that and the kind of athleticism that he has. I like him. Based on what I've seen, I haven't seen him in person, and just talking to people who have, I like him a lot. I think the ceiling is probably pretty high for him. How high, I don't know. And again, you have to remember, these stars certainly helps when you go to more events and you do well at those events. I don't know. Thank you, I am Prue, for correcting me. It is Prudhomme. Prudhomme. That's what it was. Cheesy Skull has zero hope. What did he say? Oh, no. Sounds like good players who will sit on the bench. That is the problem anymore. With the transfer portal, you have to – reality has to set in for some of these kids. You were a big-time player in high school. Now you're in college where the portal is going to interrupt your possibility of getting much playing time. You know, and that's why when you see a freshman break through now, no matter the school, some more than others, you know, places like Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, yeah, I mean, you had to beat out some really talented players. But for the most part, for the rest of the non-blue bloods, to break through is still a big deal now if you're a freshman. Arkansas saw that. I mean, you talk about Russell last year. Had he stayed healthy, would have gotten a lot more carries. You had a couple of transfers in that running back room, and they had an impact without a doubt. Russell had an impact. Had he stayed healthy, we might be having a different conversation about Russell. Again, I'm not buying that. That dude, if he is 6'3", then I am 5'8". That's just blowing my mind. I saw that. I DM'd Richard. I was like, Richard, no way. And I sent him the picture. I said, no way he is 6 foot, just 6'3". And he responded. He said, yeah, 6'3" still. Man, I might not be. Guys, I might not even be 6 feet. Jeremy Gray says, Ty, most of our issues this year were with Green not reading defenses and going through progressions. Other than Lamar, Petrino has thrived with pocket passers and timing routes. Wiegman, anyone? I disagree, Jeremy. I don't think most of the issues this year were with Green. I disagree. He had issues, yeah, but I don't think they were most of the issues. Someone pull up Lamar Jackson's first-year numbers with Petrino. Because someone in chat swore up and down his numbers were atrocious his first year with Bobby. Maybe that could be what it is, too. It's his first year in a new offense, right? I'm not trying to bust your football, soccer, basketballs, Ty. I'm just messing with you, man. I know you're not. Yayo, Ty, unrelated. Football news. UCF is trying to get Lincoln Riley from USC. That'd be a really good hire for them. It really would. That'd be a really good hire for UCF. I don't know what you're going to do about defense. You know. But yeah, for UCF, that'd be a great hire for sure. No, I disagree about what you're saying about Green, because here's the thing. Green still ended up total offensive production 30. How many total yards? By himself? 19th in the country. 3,300 yards, averaging almost 280 yards per game just through the air. That's not including what he's done with his feet. So I disagree. However, no, you're right. I mean, there were certainly a lot of issues, and Green was a part of those issues for sure. You talk about multiple reads. How often did that guy have about 2 seconds to pull the pin? How often did he have to just run and pray to God he doesn't run into a defender because he has no pocket awareness, doesn't have good peripheral vision of what's going on out here. He just runs right into a defender. But as far as reading, you've got to have time in the pocket to throw the ball. And that pocket started to collapse really quick. Now you could say you wish he had a quicker trigger. Sure, I agree with that. He holds on to the ball way too much. 19th in the country in total offense. But you think he is the majority of the problem. I couldn't disagree more. I think receivers dropping balls. running back or offensive line not opening up enough gaps for these running backs to run through, not getting a whole lot of push, pass protection, penalties, fumbles by him and the running backs. You know, and it also goes both ways when you talk about a quarterback getting in sync with his receivers. That also requires your receivers to be in sync with your quarterback. I've heard quarterbacks talk about this where they're just not on the same page. I wonder in this bowl game, you're not going to have Andrew Armstrong. Oh, boy. And again, to me, that's as much on Green as it is anybody. You're not going to have old big paws Andrew Armstrong, them big old hands of his. You're not going to have the – oh, man, that dude, I didn't realize. Watching him grip that ball in that last game against Missouri, that was pretty impressive. You're not going to have that to throw to. So I don't know, man. It'd be nice if they can go get a transfer receiver and then him be immediately eligible. We know that's not the case, though, in college football. Will the O-line guru finally get talent this year? That's a good question. How about will you develop talent? Where's all that? Where are the NFL prospects, you know? And here's the thing, too. I think this is a very valid argument about Sam. The era of really spending time analyzing, watching film, and going and getting some junior or senior or some kid you've been recruiting since he was 16 and getting him on campus and then developing him, that was Sam's strength. That era is over with. That's gone. It's not to say that he's not evaluating offensive line talent. I think he is, or his offensive line coach is, and I'm sure he's at some point given recommendations and probably even watched some footage and gone from there. But again, the era, what's most important here is the era of going and getting that kind of player and then recruiting him and developing him. Those days are gone. If they're not playing, they're hitting the portal. Now, I think offensive linemen are less likely to do that than, say, skill position players and so on and so forth. That was Sam's strength. Also, he's not the offensive line coach. It's not really his job to develop these offensive linemen. That's his offensive line coach's job. Insert whoever. The last, how many have they had now? 3? That's on them. But they're his guy. He hired them. He hired them to do that. And so that's why at the end of the day, this is a reflection on Sam to a pretty large degree. Why are you not landing these big-time 4-star, highly coveted offensive linemen? Like, where are they? Well, it's a different era. It's a different time. So I think the idea that, looking back at it, the idea that Sam's just going to go grab whoever he wants and develop them, like I said, that era's over with. I don't think I'm not saying they'll never sign some. I mean, Marion Harris was a if I remember right, was he not a unanimous 4-star? I know he was pretty highly recruited. They had to really, fight to get him here. Lamar wouldn't get benched at Boise State. Yeah, I'm definitely not trying to compare him. I'm just simply saying that even someone like Lamar struggled first year in Petrino's offense. Again, that's not my words. That's what someone said in chat. Do you think Hunter would have interest in TCU AD going to South Carolina? Oh, is he? I didn't know that. Is that what did they settle on that this morning? Is that what's happening? Let's take a look. South Carolina AD. Here it is. Yep. TCU Athletic Director Jeremiah Donati expected to be South Carolina's new AD. Source told was Brett McMurphy. So, yeah, there you go. If Brett McMurphy says it, then it's likely happening. Better than Green. Well, okay. I don't know Lamar's. If you're comparing Lamar and Green, you're talking about a Heisman. There's no comparing. Lamar Jackson's a longtime NFL player. The only comparison I'm saying is his first year. What were his numbers like his first year in a Bobby Petrino offense? Someone in chats several weeks ago said they were not good. They were really bad. That's all I'm saying. First year, players sometimes struggle. And yet, Taylen Green still had 3,300 total yards of offense, completing 61% of his throws. Don't like his touchdown to interception ratio. Don't like the fact that he hangs onto the ball, all that stuff. I'm either a really well-known critic of Green or I'm a sunshine pumper of Green. So that at least tells me I'm really right in the middle on Green, which is where I'm fine with being. I'm not someone who lives on the ledge when it comes to players necessarily. Like all the time. Give me more reasons to. Like if he had thrown 13 picks, 9 touchdowns, 50% completion ratio, maybe 2,200 total yards of offense, yeah, I'm saying, oh my God, we need to move on. There is something good there in terms of the numbers. He did pretty well overall. SEC play, a lot of guys struggle in SEC play, but guess what? This offense still, up until the Missouri game, averaged over 400 yards a game. They just struggled. Taylen Green struggled. The offensive line struggled when it came to finishing off drives. Drop balls in the end zone. I mean, again, it's an entire shit sandwich. It's not just the tomatoes that are bad. It's not just the lettuce that's bad. It's not that you're using expired meat. It's not just that. The bread's moldy. It's just that it's not a very good sandwich. And they had a lot of issues. If you guys want to live in Taylen Green just sucks, get rid of him, well, now you're without a quarterback because Malachi's in the portal. So we'll have fun with that. But I would rather, if this is and we all knew this was happening with Malachi hitting the portal, I would rather Green come back, someone who's got a little bit of continuity within the offense. I don't think they're going to wipe out the offensive line. I could be wrong. I do think they're going to go try and grab some more receivers. But I would rather a guy that it's at least been in the offense, knows it, understands it, gets the vernacular, understands the language of it all, and had some success despite all of his things that he struggled with. Agree to disagree. I mean, at the end of the day, that's fine. I don't know. Unless there's a Tyler Wilson in the portal, and I don't know. Maybe there will be. We got a few days to find out. If there's someone who we think is all better, then yeah, go all in. Go get him. I'm fine with that. But currently what we know at the moment, I don't know that I would want any of those names. Not that I've seen them all, but guys that are rumored to be hitting the portal here soon. I'm curious what happens in the receiver room and what do they do with this offensive line. Do they just keep these guys on board and then go grab a couple more guys for depth? Because I'm of the mindset that outside of Carmona, I think I'm okay with going and grabbing 4 other starters. Braun had his moments. Maybe you keep Braun, maybe, but get him some competition, someone who could beat him out, Same with Carmona. Nobody should feel safe on offense, if we're being real. And that includes Green. If you could find a quarterback who's better, then by all means give him some, and they're going to. I think they are going to go get another quarterback, if I'm being honest. How comfortable do you feel with the freshman Grayson Wilson and KJ Jackson? I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see through spring camp, I guess. Whose fault that Malachi's in the portal? The fans? Yeah, well, you know where I'm at with that. I wanted them both back. I wanted Malachi back. Look at Green's clean pocket numbers. 68%. 67.9%. 2,100 yards, 9 touchdowns, 5 picks. PFF says that's actually really good. They've given him a 90 overall grade. 86.7. Under pressure, that number went all over the place this year. Most of the year, his under pressure number was about 32, 33%. That trended up. It ended up at about 43%. I'm going to be real with you. There are some really good quarterbacks whose under pressure numbers are not so great. They're either around that or worse. Most of them are a little bit better. But you have to ask yourself, who is that player? Who surrounds him? What kind of talent? What's his pressure look like? Green was under pressure 37% of his snaps. That number actually went down a little bit. It was about 40% going into the Missouri game. It's down to 36.8. His blitz number ends up north of 50%. It's 53% when blitzed. 789 yards, 5 touchdowns, 4 picks. 2,800 yards through the air. Yeah, I'm not on the get rid of Green. I'm not there. You're going to have to move me a lot. You're going to have to show me something. We can all talk about the bad games, but guess what? He wasn't the only guy that had the bad game. If there's another quarterback in the portal that's available that maybe played in a similar offense and has better numbers or whatever, then I guess we could talk. Well, Pooh Bear, being 6'6" is only a part of it. You've got to have better. You've got to have peripheral vision. You've got to have better pocket awareness. He doesn't have it. I think Green's pocket aware, and he gets real jittery. Those are my complaints about Green. He's got to work on those. Patrick Kudus is our best offensive lineman. I forget about Patrick. You know, he missed so much of the season with those injuries. He is no doubt, he's a really good offensive lineman. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the large enough sample size for us to really pick apart because he missed so much of the year. But what was his total snaps? It wasn't real high. 230 snaps. And, I mean, his numbers are not bad. Gave up just 4 quarterback hurries, playing all 230 snaps at left guard. Yeah, you're right. Patrick Kudus was a really good offensive lineman. I thought he gave up at least 1 sack. They say 0. No, he doesn't grade out super high on PFF, but you guys know how I feel about the grading with PFF. I take it all with a grain of salt. It's the actual analytics that I like. They kind of simplify it for you. I mean, you can go find this stuff if you dig hard enough without PFF. This is all really public information. I just like the way they crunch it all together for you. Their grades are okay, and we keep up with those. Some of it I get, and we keep up with those out of the transfer portal. Good question, Mello. Mello always in all caps. Y'all ever notice that? My boy Mello just really wants to make sure. Without a doubt, the best. I mean, come on. It's got to be Tavion Wallace. Tavion Wallace is the best player Arkansas signed and will be the best player Arkansas signs the remainder of this class. I know they're still waiting on some more numbers or names. Tavion Wallace, though, 4-star. I think he's unanimous, right? What's on 3 say? Tavion Wallace. Where's his on 3? I need to get in the habit of. Yeah, he's a unanimous 4-star. And it was rumored he was going to flip. He was going to flip to Florida State. He's a 92.28 4-star, but even just watch what you can on him. You know, listen to what the people who covered his recruiting a lot. Listen to what some of those guys say. Otis Kirk could tell you a lot about Tavion Wallace. I say a lot. I mean, you know, it's his job. It's what Otis does. This is a really good get. About 6'2", 220 pounds, out of Baxley, Georgia. Will, I think, compete to play 2 deep. I don't know that he's going to come in and start because we got a lot of discussion about what's going on. We still got to figure out who the hell's going to stick it out, right? And we got to get through this portal period, and then we got to get through the second portal period, which is so stupid they have 2 portal. I'm sorry, it's dumb. You need 1 You get one chance, and it's December, and that's it, and it's 2 weeks long. That's all you get. You get 14 days or 10 business days. I don't know. You can only contact the players through the week when they're in the portal. That ought to be a rule, too. You get 14 days in that one. I freaking hate that you get a second right after spring camp. What a son of, oh, that still pisses me off. Think about the time you spend in that off season developing this guy, finding this. Oh, we're gonna put you here. There's a certain receiver that comes to mind that ended up going to Oklahoma the day after spring camp stopped, or it was final day. Next day he's in the portal and he's off to Oklahoma. Arkansas did fine without him, but still drove me nuts. I don't like that second portal period, y'all. December should be at 2 weeks. It's going to be an exciting 2 weeks. And then that's it. That's all you get. If you want to transfer, you got to wait next year. We already just and I have no problem with paying players and letting the players have a little bit more power. I have no problem with that whatsoever. But come on, dude. First off, the portal period starts on the 9th, and it ends on the what do I have it down as? The 28th? Is that right? What do I have on the? I think it's the 9th through the 28th. Yeah. That's too long. Anyways, I guess I'm just old man screaming at the sky. Damn it. Who you going to get? That's right. There you go. Ty, if UCF lands Lincoln Riley, there's going to be more ripples soon. They will probably land a big fish at USC. Will it be anyone from the SEC? I have no idea, man. I don't know. Only gripe I had on Taylen was that he would just miss guys running wide open. Liberty's quarterback or Texas A&M would be my picks. Really? Liberty's quarterback? Do you want to go over his numbers? Because I looked. He's not a better quarterback, not based on the year that he had last year. You're talking about Caden Salter. This dude threw 56%. 56% completion ratio off 261 attempts, 1,800 yards. He can run. He's a really good runner. I think he did deal with some injuries, but he played, I think, in every game this year. He ran for 587 yards, 7 rushing touchdowns. He had more touchdowns. 56%. Yeah, I'm going to pass on Caden Salter. Sorry. Again, give me a guy who at least has a year in the Petrino offense. Give him weapons, and let's just see what happens. Give him some better protection up front. I don't know. I don't think Caden Salter comes to the SEC and does any better. I was a little surprised at how big of a dip he had last year, but no, I'm going to pass on Caden. Hey, what's up, Harrison? How you doing, man? Hope all's well. Yeah, I agree with this. Pooh Bear, this is right. I agree with this. Green is a deer in headlights. LOL. I hope he gets way better. Just going to have to wait and see. There you go. I hope we see huge improvements from Green in the offseason. Unless, again, you can find a better quarterback. I'm all ears on finding a better quarterback. I am, man. I'm not Green or bust. I'm really not. I really like continuity. And that's been a big thing, and that's just been the Petrino way, right? It's a 2-year install. Listen to anyone who talks about it who knows the offense. It's a 2-year thing. Again, Green's numbers improved as the year went on. His completion number went up. It was 56% most of the year, and then we see this gradual climb, and it stayed up. And then, again, you have these games where he was just terrible. That's how much of that is just Green? How much of that is the Petrino effect? How much of that is just poor game management? How much of that is the defense and the offense? Neither, both having bad days, and then Green gets all the hate. Green is, I'm going to say this, Green is the most hated quarterback since Brandon Allen. I've done this for years. Okay, I remember the Casey Dick era. Mitch Mustaine freshman, it's not an era, it was just 1 year. Mitch Mustaine freshman year, right? Again, Brandon Allen until his final season. This is the level that Green is at, and I don't think it's deserved. I don't think it's deserved at all. I really don't. I get he's absolutely not above criticism. I believe that about everybody, including myself. I am definitely not above criticism. Neither is anybody in chat. But the level of hatred that is, I say hatred, dislike for Green, I get the criticisms, and those are well warranted. But if you remember, Brandon Allen, and this is before Twitter really became infamous for trolls and how bad things and how toxic it would get, Brandon Allen caught it on all levels. Message boards, Hogville, Rivals, you name it. You would have thought Brandon Allen kicked your puppies, went outside and just booted a puppy across the street or something. Green is getting to that level of hatred or dislike, whatever. I don't think it's deserved at all. Do I have problems with him not being on the same page with the rest of the receivers at times? The way he cost Arkansas with his fumbles. Yeah, I take issue with that. Absolutely. Those are valid criticisms. Hangs on to the ball too much. Runs into defenders. God, kid, look up. Watch where you're going. Have better pocket awareness. But I just don't think, I don't think that even just looking at his numbers, he didn't have as bad of a year as some people would have you believe. It wasn't great. A lot of room for improvement. Let's facilitate some playmakers. Let's get him some better protection up front, and let's see what he can do, assuming you can't find someone better. And I'm going to be real with you. I don't know that you're going to find someone, and I don't know that you're going to get them, because Sam Pittman might very well be entering his final season as the Arkansas Razorback head coach. 6th year, and I think a lot of us probably agree this looks likely this is going to be his last year. That schedule's brutal next year. Right now, it's very difficult to find 6 wins on that schedule, and 6 wouldn't be enough to keep his job. God bless. You would hope not. We said that this year too. All I'm saying is lay off Green a little bit. Give him a chance. Some of the stuff that's been said about him, I've seen it. People have sent me stuff. It's like, wait, did he throw 15 picks? Did he only throw for like 1,400 yards? Like, what's going on? Did he not put this team on his shoulders multiple times and lead them down the field and come away with scores? Sometimes, yeah, he did. Not all the time. Again, I'm not saying the criticism isn't valid. By God, I'll lead that charge. Like, all right, we got some shit to work on, Green. Let's go get it fixed. But this is Brandon Allen level of like just strong. Like, we do not like this kid. And I really think it's just be patient. Let's see what they do in the portal. Let's see what they do with this offensive line and the skill position players. And let's see what happens. Because at the end of the day, it probably doesn't matter. The odds that Sam – this is weird because we were just here a year ago. The odds that Sam gets a 7th season are highly unlikely. So just chill. Okay, Chance. Yeah. Plenty of contracts go through 2027. That doesn't mean they stick around that long. I mean, come on, be real. BA went down as one of our best quarterbacks. That senior year was fantastic. Yeah, I'm very well aware of OK State. Was it Brandon Allen's truck in Arsenal? It was, yeah. Yeah. Someone lit his truck on fire, but that wasn't some unruly fan. You can Google that and read it. It wasn't just some unruly fan. It was just someone being a knucklehead. Yeah, see, this is the thing though. This is the guys. These are the people. I don't know that you guys are focusing on the fact that it is a first year Bobby Petrino offense. And by the way, you did beat Tennessee, and yes, Malachi led that drive. He looked great. But if you go back and watch that score, what was Tennessee doing? In fact, Tennessee fans still yell about what happened. They let Malachi score for the sake of the clock. I'm not saying anything else that Malachi did bad. Tell me one game where Taylen Green, blah, 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 blah. Man, you could scream from a mountaintop about what Taylen Green didn't do. I would ask you the same thing. How many times did the defense win those games against big teams, bigger and better teams? How often did receivers drop big, whether it resulted in a touchdown or a first down? How often was Green given about a 2-second window to get rid of the ball? Now, if you want to say that it's maybe Petrino is past his prime, I said that before they even hired him. You're not getting 2011 Bobby Petrino walking through those doors, and I stand by that. And I don't think they did, but to be fair, they did some things okay. What they didn't do enough of was score and win games. And that doesn't just go on Green. That doesn't just go on the offensive line. That doesn't just go on Bobby Petrino. At the end of the day, it's a reflection of the head coach, the guy that facilitated this offense, that facilitated both sides of the ball. I have no idea what you're talking about. Taylen was 3 of 11 on third downs. Pooh Bear, I don't know that you watched the first half of the season, man. Arkansas had one of the top third down offenses in the country, and it was because of Taylen Green. I was responding to a comment on if Pittman's contract ends next. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it's through 2027. Yeah, you're right. I remember when you said that. Said what? Pooh Bear, and yet you're complaining about what they did on offense. They still averaged over 400 yards a game till the Mizzou game on offense. It's the SEC, brother. Like, what do you expect, man? I think some of you want perfection. You're not going to get it. I think some of you want 35, 40 points a game in the SEC. You're not going to get it, especially with a first-year head coach first-year coordinator with a guy that's new in his system. It's not going to happen. Like, frankly, this conversation just gets so old because I know you're going to blame everything on Green, not have a realistic take at all. You're not going to look at the entire sandwich. You're just going to point out Green's problems. And you're doing that without actually taking into consideration what he accomplished. Was he a great quarterback? No. Again, all criticisms are valid. I want to know, outside of the top 3 quarterbacks, how successful were other quarterbacks on third down? What were they working with? What's the talent level they're working with? I don't know that they have the best talent on offense, man. I mean, your better offensive lineman that played all year played where last season? San Jose State. That was really your best offensive lineman, Fernando Carmona. Like, I know people that weren't even aware of that. They had no idea where he played college ball, where he transferred in from. So maybe, just maybe, they didn't facilitate the best talent, and you're trying to build an offense out of spare parts. What did Sam call his offensive line? Blue light special? Damn you, Green. You're all the problem. But we have a horrible offensive line. Come on, man. Let's be real. Is Green limited? Yes. Yes, he is. But he's not the whole problem. And I still don't believe that Malachi, that you win more games. It's probably about the same. Don't mind Pooh, he's still on the KJ train. Oh, no. Tell me that's not true. Malachi is more proven than Green. Wow. Malachi is more proven than Green. You're from the Spider-Verse somewhere. I don't know what you're talking about. How is he more proven? Because he had a good drive against Tennessee? Ty, as you mentioned, Green is not all of our problems, just a part, but I will say Petrino got the receivers open quite a bit. He could not find them. We would have a couple more games. He's trolling now. Ignore that dude. Yeah, that's absurd. At that point, you've lost. I'm sorry, Pooh Bear. You're losing a lot of you're coming down on points, man. I mean, you're digging your own hole. And Jeremy, I hear you. Again, criticisms are valid. But what I don't see is the same level of skepticism and frustration with the defense, with the offensive line, with the drop balls, with other players also fumbling the ball, not just Green. That's the problem. That's what's strange to me, is that we're only hyper-focused. This is why I say when you're a quarterback, especially at Arkansas, you better perform really, really, really well, or you're 100% of the problem. And that it's absurd. It's just absurd. It's a fanatical take, and it's absurd. Yeah, Brim, again, you're trying to nail you're using the wrong hammer, my man. Did TG have any game-winning drives? Did the defense, how many games did the defense win this year? How many times were we put in a position where TG could actually succeed? Three end zone drops alone. 2 by Broden and 1 by Centennia. It's very clear it's just a bias against Green, period. And I good luck with that. All I'm going to say is good luck. I don't know that you're going to find a better quarterback out of the portal. Maybe they do. I don't know. No, you're right, Pooh Bear. They just are bottom of the barrel in every single stat in existence just about in the SEC. You're right. They didn't fumble the ball. Again, man, you're showing yourselves. You're showing yourselves. You just have a bias against Green. He is 100% of the problem, and you're wrong. You are wrong. You're wrong, flat out. Like, look up and down. The defense was decent in maybe one category all year. They were bend, don't break. They didn't give up a ton of points. I'll give them that. Their run defense was pretty decent. Secondary was paper thin. You could run hitch and go routes. Whatever. You take whatever the secondary gives you. By God, you're going to take it because they're not good. Run defense was decent this year. It was better than I thought it would be. They ended up 33rd in the country. That's not bad. That's still 122 yards a game. 13 rushing touchdowns. Again, not bad. You look at every other statistic in the SEC, the defense is near the bottom in nearly every category. But no, Green is 100% of the problem. You're right. Green is 100% of the problem. If you can't accept that there were more issues than just Green, then I'm sorry, you clearly just have a bias against Green. Whereas I'm saying, yes, the criticism of Green is valid. These are valid criticisms. However, I believe he wasn't the sole reason this team struggled. We'll just have to agree to disagree. How this team, you talk about the turnovers, why couldn't the defense get takeaways? Why did they finish next to Auburn, nearly dead last in the league in takeaways? They were terrible. Get out of here. See, that's it. You come down on points. If you're not willing to admit, okay, all right, yeah, it wasn't just all on Green. Secondary had its issues. Defense had some issues with depth. Offensive line really didn't help him out much. A ton of drop passes this year. Running backs couldn't stay healthy. But no, this is all on Green. You're crazy. This is why I'm tired of talking about it. It's exhausting. Like, it feels like at this point, I'm just arguing with John Hawes. It's just, I might as well just argue with this. What do we got here? What do I have here to argue with? Oh, here we go. Old Spice Deep Sea. I'm going to sit here and just listen here. That's what I'm doing. I mean, it's just pointless. 72nd overall red zone defense. Teams scored north of 83% of the time when they were in Arkansas's red zone. Damn you, Green. How dare you? How dare you, Green? You could point out certain games, that's fine. I could point out the entire season of issues that this defense had. I'll give them Tennessee. I thought the Tennessee game was very well executed. Game plan was great. It certainly helped that you had that opening drive thanks to, the offense. Taylen Green. Yeah, pretty good way to start that game when the offense eats up. How many minutes was that? Gave the defense plenty of time to rest, and the game plan was perfect. That was actually a really well-executed game, mostly by the defense. I'll give them credit. But A&M is on Green. LSU's on Green. Missouri's on Green. Every lot, just give all losses to Green. There you go. All right, go find you a better quarterback. Anyways, this is an old argument. It's tiring. I don't look forward to this at all during the offseason. It's just old and repetitive. At the end of the day, if you really, at least you either let go of the rope, okay, you can let go of the rope because Green's back and Pittman's back, and then you can just let the rest of us talk about what they need to do to get better. If they can't find a better substitute for Green in the portal, which I don't think they will, it looks like Pittman's coming back, Petrino's coming back. Looks that way. He's going to be connected to other jobs. I know he is. So we'll see. But I feel pretty confident he'll be back. But I could be wrong. I'm fine with continuity, but let's see let's see what they can do as far as building a better roster. Let's see what they can do as far as building a roster, building around Green, getting him some better protection, getting him some better weapons to throw to. Defense has got to get better. Need a lot of help across the board on defense too. I don't have faith that they'll do that. But with revenue sharing, who knows? Maybe it does change quite a bit. Maybe that helps a lot. But if you're just going to argue about Green, what he can't do, blah, 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 and you're going to overlook his good – because, see, I'm willing to do both. I'm willing to say, yeah, he did some good, but he also did a lot of bad. If your argument is Green is 100% of the problem, then I'm just not – I'm at the point now. I'm just done. I'm done with that argument. It's silly. You have every right to feel the way you do. I have every right to feel and say what I want to say and to feel the way I want to feel about the situation. I don't think Green is the I don't know that he's the answer, but I know right now he is the guy. He's going to be the guy to the offseason again, unless they can find someone better. By God, if Tyler Wilson's in the portal, let's have a conversation, right? So I would rather talk about how can we make things better, because given in the reality of the situation, you are who you are and you have who you have. And that's it. That's really all I have to say. Did not plan on talking about Green for 20 minutes or however long. It's just, again, it's such a tiring conversation. Red Nasty says, hopefully we make the playoffs. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, 3 lost teams get in, but I don't know that I see 9 wins. I don't know that I see 6 wins for Arkansas next year. I agree with this. There are so many more issues in quarterback, which is why it's time to move on from Sam. I love the man, but losing record 5-6 years into the job. Well, it wasn't a losing record. Not yet. It's not a losing record yet. It will be if he loses his bowl game. I'm sorry, Ty. I think we're all just trying to understand the situation, and none of us can. I think we understand the situation perfectly fine. I think we all acknowledge that it's the whole sandwich. If you don't acknowledge that and you think a simple quarterback switch fixes your issues, oh, buddy. Man, oh, man. I want to sell you this Old Spice deodorant for $500 because I think you'd buy it if you believe that. If you think a simple quarterback switch this year would have solved all their problems. I don't know, man. All right, that's it. I'm done. We're done. Arkansas right now, we're looking to see how they finish this thing up. We know the portal's about to open up. It's going to be exciting. Oh, it's going to be fun keeping up with all those names. Make sure you're a Patreon supporter so you can see who those targets are. Again, that list is going to start to build here really soon. So come be a part of it. Come join. Whether you agree or disagree on the Taylen Green topic, whatever. The rest of it, well, we can at least have fun in the process of trying to watch this team figure out how to right all of its wrongs. And they got a lot of work to do. And again, it starts with the portal. I love a couple of players in this class. Again, I think there's some sleepers in this 2025 class. How many, I don't know. It does feel like a very, very kind of typical for Arkansas, very top-heavy recruiting class. That's typical. They're going to have, few guys that might have an opportunity to play pretty quick, pretty soon, depending on what Arkansas does in the portal. So we'll see how it finishes up. Second signing period in February, unless that changed. Did that change? I feel like every month, every other month, we get a different rule change to everything. Transfer portal, signing classes, you name it. But again, we'll keep on top of it. We'll keep an eye on it. The conversation is flowing in the discussion part of Patreon. So make sure you go check it out. Go read it, all right? We still love you, Ty, even if we don't agree. You don't agree that it was more than just the quarterback. All right. Okay. All right. You're right. I guess so. Let's end the poll. Arkansas 2025 class. Poor, several sleepers, but meh. Better than people think. Great. The winner, several sleepers, but meh. Right there. There you go. Thanks, Ty. I agree with the fact you work your ass off, bro. It's about to get nuts. Oh, again, don't forget, prediction is up. Prediction is up. Alabama at North Carolina. We're gonna add some more predictions for the weekend. We got to add at least one football prediction. So there you go. Wait, his overall record. What do you mean? Tusky, what are you talking about? Hold on. Oh, okay. All right. His overall record's not great. You're not wrong. I agree, brother. I'm on the couch with the flu. God. Stay home, Sarge. All right, everybody. I will see you. We got to do a Courtney. I got to get her on here. I need to reach out to her, get her on for this week. We'll do a year in review for Arkansas football, and then also looking forward. So I'm going to try and get her on. If probably not tonight. I think that's probably maybe tomorrow. If not, maybe Friday. I don't know, man. Crazy week. Looking forward to all of it. All right, everybody. Even you, Taylen Green, is the problem, folks. Even to you, folks. Have a good night or rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. All right? Okay. Bye.